Hi, welcome to Comcast Newsmakers. I'm Paul Lisnick. If you love theater as I do, you know that Chicago is one of the great theater towns in this country. But you know, not everything is downtown. If you venture out a little bit, you find some of the greatest theater this side of New York. Meet my guest. He is the artistic director for the Jedlicka Performing Arts Center, Dante Orfei. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
So first of all, let's let people know where Jedlicka is, because you got to take a little ride there, but it's worth it.
We're located just 12 minutes southwest of downtown on I-55 at the Central Avenue exit. We're on the outskirts of Cicero, but we're like about a minute away from the Chicago border.
And you're on a campus of a college?
We're on the campus of Morton College. We have about 300 parking spaces. Totally free.
Free parking? Yeah, but if we live in Chicago, we don't know about free parking. So good to hear. Let's get to the season. Dante, when you're picking, sort of looking at your season, of course, you're competing with downtown, Broadway shows. How do you put a season together? We
try to look for something that's going to bring some a balance, something interesting. So we try to focus on shows that maybe have never been seen in the area before or have had very little exposure, and then tie that in with a couple of classics.
Proof's in the pudding. Let's take a look at this season. You're kicking it off with Whistle Down the Wind. Some people might say, you know, I haven't heard of that, except they probably have heard of the guy who wrote it.
Andrew Lloyd Webber wrote the show in 1996, worked on it for a while, finally put it together in the West End about 1998. London. Yeah. And it ran very successfully there for several years, but never transferred the show to New York.
Until you. So now we get to see it. We'll do that. Then you go to something it's a classic. Marlon Brando, A Streetcar Named Desire. Stella, the great line, right? This is the show.
Exactly. And that was our classic for the season. So something very new, something very, well, I don't say it's too old, but an American theatrical classic. And then we're moving on into something that with a little suspense, comedy, not quite sure where it's going.
That show's called Accomplice. That's the next up. Written by Rupert Holmes, which people may know. He adapted The Mystery of Edwin Drood.
Exactly, and is also well known for writing the Margarita song.
Right.
So like Pina Coladas.
Right, that's right. Pina Coladas, yes.
And,
same guy.
It's a show that keeps the audience on the edge of their seat, yet it's laced with hysterical humor, and you never really know who the accomplice is until the final curtain.
Kind of his thing.
It is.
Right, in his writing we get to see it. Then Standing in Mattoon sounds pretty local.
Right, and it is. It was written by Steve Cochran, and
so when that opens, obviously that too is meant to be. It's going to be sentimental. It's going to be funny.
Right, and it centers around a contest in Mattoon, Illinois, where people are trying to see who can stand holding their hand on this car the longest. But it's the vehicle, no pun intended, that explores the lives of the people that are there, how they got there.
And a local flavor. Love Story, the great Eric Siegel classic. Love means never having to say you're sorry.
Yes, it was based on the Eric Siegel book and the Paramount Pictures film. It even includes the one song from the film that was from the 1972 version.
And of course, we won't tell anybody whether she lives or dies. And then there's going to be and then there's going to be a musical that you're keeping secret right now. We'll have to wait for that. If folks want to check out the theater, where do they find you? How do they get tickets?
We can be found on the internet at www.jpactheater.com.
Okay.
And also our box office is 708-656-1800.
Okay, perfect. You do great stuff. Dante Orfei, thanks for being with me, the artistic director for Jedlicka Performing Arts Center. Be sure you check it out. I'm Paul Lisnick, and this, of course, is Comcast Newsmakers. Bye-bye.